FORA.tv. The world is thinking.
You know, I don't know if you saw this, but Michelle Obama gave a speech on Tuesday. She did a harvest event at the White House garden, and she gave an amazing speech that didn't get covered. It was treated on NPR as this cute little thing where the kids harvested and cooked some peas. But she gave this speech about food, about the importance of reforming school lunch, about the links between what we're eating and obesity and diabetes, and you know, she sounded like Alice Waters. Yeah. And it was so I think there's just a very exciting moment going on. So that, you know, so in that sense, I'm not bored. I mean, there are many dinner table conversations that I'm bored by. But I also think that it's a conversation that's been going on in this town for longer than it has in other places, and other people are just kind of discovering it.
And what about Obama himself? Is he sort of on board for these things, or what are we?
Well, I think my sense is that he connects the dots. I mean, he has said things that are very interesting and that indicate that he understands that the way we're growing food is a key to the healthcare crisis on the one side and climate change and energy crisis on the other side, and he gets all this. But it's one thing to get it, and it's another to do something about it. And I think that you know, a lot of people feel that you elect a president who kind of agrees with you on things, and then you can sit back and he'll take care of it. Mm-hmm. But he's up against incredible. I mean, he's got a lot of other things on his plate, obviously. Yeah. But he's up against incredible power on reforming the food system. And they had this little feint where they tried to do something about crop subsidies and trim them just a little bit around the margin, then boom, they were stopped by the House Ag Committee. And so I think he's really up against it. I think what's happening is a pretty deliberate strategy where Michelle Obama is raising the consciousness of the issue. Because the important thing to recognize is for a great many Americans, this food system works just fine. There's plenty of cheap food, and it's highly edible, and it's not a problem. It's not a crisis. It doesn't feel like a crisis to many people, even though the food system is producing diseases that we're having trouble dealing with, and the food system is leading to climate change, and all the problems we know are involved. So I think that she's creating the constituency for future reform at a legislative level, and I think what she's doing is very significant and very deliberate, and I think that that's exciting. So I'm moderately hopeful. I think what will really drive change, what it will take, oddly enough, is if we do get healthcare reform, because then you'll have a situation. I mean, whatever the plan is, it will probably be a plan in which healthcare companies can no longer pick and choose their clients, that they have to take everybody, no pre-existing conditions, that they're therefore responsible for people's health over a very long period of time, and the whole population, and that they will have a powerful interest in prevention, which they don't have now. Right now, the economics are, if you're a health insurer, you're better off treating diabetes, performing an amputation, say, than preventing it. A case of type 2 diabetes, which is horrible, but that's economics. So if you change the system and you give them, and they see that for every case of type 2 diabetes we prevent in an adolescent, we can save $500,000 over the course of that child's life, which is exactly that's what a case of type 2 diabetes costs the city of New York, because they have a big public hospital system. They will work very hard to reform the food system. And then you will have this power in our economy up against another power. And realistically, that's how things change. Not because people like you and me want to see them change. So we need to get the healthcare industry on our side.